AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Terrio, an hour from right now, is LSU set to open up SEC play at Vanderbilt. A lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Just a bit, we'll get to some projected win totals released for the upcoming college football season. LSU's number quite honestly surprised me. So I'll tell you that coming up here in just a bit. We on Thursday heard from the first batch of Saints free agents, along with Kellen Moore, as the Saints are moving their way through this era of the offseason, heading into year 2 under Kellen Moore with decidedly increased expectations. And as odd as it is, considering as rough as the last half decade has been for the New Orleans Saints, I love what they've done so far. And I don't mean that to be tongue-in-cheek or in any way dismissive, but they deserve an awful lot of criticism for what's happened the last half decade. They haven't made the playoffs, in a half decade, and they've missed on a lot of free agent targets. They've let really good players walk out of the building. Dennis Allen obviously was a terrible hire. And now, though, it feels like they're pointed in the right direction, especially for a team coming off a 6-win season. But I love the addition of David Edwards. I don't love letting DeMario Davis walk, but you added Caden Ellis, keeping Dylan Radins as a backup option on the interior. And, aside from Edwards, the biggest addition was Travis Etienne, guy from Jennings who went to Clemson, was a great college back, was drafted by Jacksonville, was a 1,000-yard rusher, a guy still in his 20s, and you paid a handsome number for it. But here's a guy that even acknowledged, like, being from Louisiana, that he grew up a Saints fan.
Going to my grandma and my grandpa's house each and every Sunday, we were watching the Saints, man. And just when Katrina happened, and you know how the city rallied behind them, and it's just to be a part of that, just to be a part of that history, and to come back here and just I feel like I've seen the highs of the Saints and seeing where we've been recently, and we just want to get back to where we was playing a high level of football. And I'm glad they believe in me to come in here and be a key piece of that. And I just want to thank everyone for that, and I'm excited to see where we take it. Sky's the limit for us.
I love the wheeze. I love the wheeze. Even when he's talking about historical Saints, he's talking not even the team that he's on now, just talking about historical, he's talking about the wheeze. That resonates for a lot of people. Now listen, a few years ago when the Saints added Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry and Foster Moreau, it was a fever pitch around here, man, and we were excited about it. And it felt like you were adding local heroes, some guys from the New Orleans area, played at LSU, great fan sentiment. And it didn't work. So I'm not saying just because Etienne is from Jennings, Louisiana, and grew up a Saints fan, it's why you do this deal. You do this deal because he's played 4 NFL seasons, and in 3 of the 4, he's been a 1,000-yard rusher. In 2024, he had a little bit of a down season, but bounced back this past year with 1,100 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. And that's one of the things Etienne talked about when he met with reporters, was bouncing back after that disappointing 24 to have another 1,000-yard season in 2025.
Like, that 2024 season wasn't the season I wanted to have. And so all I knew was I have to just work harder than I ever worked before in my life. But that's how I approach any and every situation. Whether we win, whether we lose, you're going to just go back to square one, Mamba mentality. That's what I would probably say. Just watching YouTube videos of Kobe really helped me the most. And just his mindset, the way that he approached it, like everything that he had to give to the game, he was going to give it. And I feel like I had to treat the game the same way. If Kobe could do it, why can't I? At the end of the day, like, they can't measure your heart. And I've learned through the NFL, through the highs and the lows, that whenever you're out there during the season, you're really relying on the work that you put in when no one was watching. So if you put all the work in throughout the whole offseason, you have nothing to worry about. That's when the fun comes in. That's when you're out there playing fun, you're having fun, you're enjoying the moment, you're enjoying the fruits of your harvest.
I want to put some context on Travis Etienne having 3 1,000-yard seasons in his first 4 years in the NFL. You know the last time the Saints had a 1,000-yard rusher? The last time the Saints had a 1,000-yard rusher? It was Mark Ingram in 2017. That's the last 1,000-yard rusher the New Orleans. Remember, Alvin Kamara's never had a 1,000-yard season. In 24, he was pacing for that, and had he not been injured and missed the end of the season, he would have hit that number. But it goes to show you, sometimes we take that for granted. I mean, you look at the history of the New Orleans Saints. I mean, Chuck Muncie in 1979 was a 1,000-yard rusher. George Rogers did it in 81, 83. Reuben Mays did it in 86. Dalton, 1989, was a 1,000-yard rusher. Ricky Williams did it twice as a rookie in 2000, then in 2001. Deuce led the Saints with 4 1,000-yard seasons, and Mark Ingram did it twice, 2016 and 2017. That's it. That's your list of 1,000-yard rushers in the history of the history of the New Orleans Saints. So it's been a minute. It's been almost a decade since you had one, and you're bringing in a guy that's done it 3 times in 4 years in the league and is still very much in his prime. So I love that component of it. I also think it was very interesting when Etienne was asked about Tyler Shuck, because one of the questions that becomes very natural, as we were coming on air, we heard SportsCenter there at the top of the hour, and they were playing a soundbite from Mike Evans. And Mike Evans was talking about why he picked the Niners. And you're talking about a 13-win team and how he felt like they were just a piece away, and he's the missing piece. Sometimes if you're a free agent and all else is equal, meaning money or whatever, you look for opportunity where you can go and have the opportunity to play, but also the opportunity to win. And so I think it's fair to ask, look, again, the Saints were just a 6-win team, but they won 4 of their last 5 under Tyler Shuck. And you could see the thing, whatever that it is, right? That Shuck kind of has it. And so Etienne was asked about whether or not Tyler Shuck was a factor in the decision.
It definitely was a factor, but I mean, whenever the Saints reached out, I don't think it was nothing else that could have stopped me from coming here, honestly. I wasn't thinking Saints pre-free agency because I didn't really know that. I didn't know like they had injuries or anything, but whenever the Saints came available, man, it was kind of like a no-brainer to me.
The opportunity to come home. He did say he'd be open to playing with Alvin Kamara if it worked out that way, but he did elaborate more on some of the conversations that he's had with Tyler Shuck.
I was good. Like I sense his hunger. He was telling me his journey just to get in here, And whenever you have a guy who's traveled down that road through adversity, you know that nothing could shake him. Like, he's ready for the moment. And I feel like whenever you have waited so long for that moment, you have no choice but to maximize it. And I'm just excited to see his growth. And like last year, I remember watching the one game with the Panthers because I was watching my brother. So I've seen a little bit of him, but I want to get to know the person first. And it was just great just to hear him talk and understand that he's already been in the building. That's just very encouraging because when you got your leader here, it's like, how can I not be here? So it's like, I just want to kind of get here ASAP and start building that chemistry more.
Travis Etienne, new Saints running back from Louisiana, from Jennings, the opportunity to come home, play for a team he grew up rooting for, and to help a Saints offense, which was just, frankly, not very good at running the football a year ago. When you look at the best rushing teams in the NFL, the New Orleans Saints were 28th in the NFL in rushing offense. You go add Etienne, who's been a 1,000-yard rusher 3 out of 4 seasons. You add David Edwards to solidify the interior. You're going to get Eric McCoy back healthy. The hope is twofold. Number one, you protect Tyler Shuck. Number two, you get that rushing offense back to respectability. See if they're able to do it. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer, your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Big shout-out was actually over at Mockler last night. The Wearing of the Green Parade is coming up tomorrow on Saturday. They had plenty of green Shamrock Bud Light bottles there at the Slattery Room at Mockler. A cool event with Pat Shingleton and all the folks for the Wearing of the Green. Parish is going to have a float in the Wearing of the Green Parade on Saturday. So if you're going to be out there, look for us. And make sure you got plenty of delicious ice cold Bud Light. Already got the cold Bud Lights iced down in the cooler. We'll have it on the float tomorrow. And we'll be responsible, but we're having a good day drinking plenty of ice cold Bud Lights. So drink easy on St. Patty's Day at any LSU sporting event. The official beer of the Fighting Tigers of LSU, Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, well, now I got a quick break, y'all. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Terrio in 48 minutes. Looking forward to that conversation as always. A couple of hours with Terrio in studio. We'll talk plenty of baseball. When we come back, though, FanDuel has put out their updated projected win totals for the 2026 college football season. We'll look at the SEC, what stands out, tell you where they have LSU, and quite honestly, I'm a little surprised by the number. We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Weekend is upon us. Highs in the 70s tomorrow. 77 is the projected high. If your AC isn't keeping up, I don't want you to think, oh, man, I got to call someone and hope that I'm in front of the line for Monday. No. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. They'll come out nights and weekends. So Friday night, doesn't matter. Have an issue with your AC, they'll come out. If it's Saturday and your AC is not keeping up, call River City's 1 Hour Air. They'll come out. I've told you before, a couple of years ago on Easter Sunday, went to a family crawfish bowl, came home 5 in the afternoon. House was hot. AC had stopped working. Called River City's 1 Hour Air thinking, all right, well, it's Easter. Surely no one's coming out at 5 o'clock on Easter Sunday. I had a technician at my house within half an hour. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. They're always on time, or you don't pay a dime, and they'll always come out nights and weekends. So, got issues with your AC? Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, LSU's going to open up spring practice in 11 days out on the Ponderosa, first spring under Lane Kiffin. And FanDuel has released its projected win totals for the 2026 season, an updated projected win total. I want to clarify because we always talk about these. And one of the reasons that I like to look at projected Vegas win totals is, you've heard us talk about this in the past, this is not rooted in any kind of bias. This is not, odds makers are not motivated by any school color. The only color they're motivated by is green. Money. They want to be right. They're trying to induce equal action on both sides of a number. So I like to look at this because it's not like looking at somebody's way too early top 25 or anything like that. These odds makers are accepting wagers. They stand to lose money potentially if they're wrong based on what happens with these. So they're trying to be accurate with these numbers. And so FanDuel has released their updated college football win totals now post signing day, pre-spring or during spring here for a lot of places, and they'll alter again as we get close to the season. And no doubt you'll see injuries and different things that'll affect these numbers as they get closer. But what I think is so important to remember is, and for me, I think it's recalibrating how we think about numbers because the SEC is now going to a 9-game league schedule. Remember, this is just a fact. This is math. In going to a 9-game league schedule, you have guaranteed half of your league another loss. Does that make sense? You added a league game, so half of your league is going to take another loss. Whereas that in past would probably have been an FCS opponent or a G5 or something like that. So you're guaranteeing half your league is going to take another loss. So I think we have to recalibrate what we think about win totals. For example, whenever the NFL was a 16-game schedule, like we knew what 10-6 meant. 10-6 generally meant you're going to be in the playoffs. Not always, but 10-6 generally meant you're in. 9-7, you're teetering there, right? 8-8, you're probably out. Unless you're playing a bad division where 8-8 wins you a division championship, which happened in the NFC South with Carolina. Actually, I think Carolina went 7-8-1 in 2014 and won the division. Anyway, when the NFL went to 17 games, we kind of had to recalibrate. Well, is 10-7 more like what 10-6 was, or is 10-7 more like what 9-7 was, where you're teetering? We're going to learn that in time. Like in this era of the playoffs so far, what we've basically understood and accepted is if you're an SEC team and you get to 10 wins, that's likely going to get you in. Now, apologies this past year to programs like Vanderbilt and Texas and who were on the cusp of getting in and were left out. But typically, 10 wins has shown you in this era, I know it's 2 years, but 10-2 is getting you in. Well, is 9-3 now the new 10-2 because of the extra league game? We don't know. We don't know that, and we're going to have to wait and see. So, but let me not bury the lead here. What's fascinating is that when this opened earlier today, LSU's number was at 8.5. And I was surprised by that. 8.5, I think, is low for LSU considering Lane Kiffin, the talent they brought in. You're effectively saying 8-4, 9-3. Well, that apparently has already been bet up because I just checked as we're starting the segment. That number is now at 9.5. LSU, over the course of this day, when these numbers dropped, has gone from 8.5 to 9.5. So the odds maker set it at 8.5, and there's been enough money that's come in on LSU with the over that's already moved that number, effectively saying they think LSU is going to go either 10-2 or 9-3. It's jumped a number. That is tied with Texas and Georgia for the best number in the SEC. Texas and Georgia, LSU, all over under 9.5 wins for the 2026 college football season. I think that is significant. The other thing I think is significant there is none of the SEC teams are projected over 9.5. I mean, none of them are at double digits. And it was very common for years that we'd see Bama under Saban and Georgia during their run under Kirby to be at 10.5 or even 11.5 in some instances come at the early season number. So Georgia, Texas, LSU over under 9.5 is the pace car. Bama and Texas A&M are both at 8.5. So two playoff teams from a year ago thinking they're likely to take a little bit of a step back. Bama 8.5, A&M 8.5. Now, A&M returns Marcel Reed and a bunch from that team a year ago. Alabama is losing Ty Simpson. They have turnover at quarterback, losing on the offensive line, losing big-time playmakers like Jeremy Bernard. We've talked about Bama plenty here over the past 3 years. You know where I stand on this whole thing with Alabama and with Kalen DeBose. I think that's probably in line. Said it over and over. They're not going to be bad. They're not going to be terrible. They're just not going to be dominant. 8-4, 9-3, probably about right for Alabama this year. And if it goes sideways with the new quarterback, if it's Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, either way, then that number could skew to the under, and Kalen DeBoer will be gone after this season. A few other things, because I wanted to look at the playoff teams from a year ago. So I looked at Bama and A&M. Georgia, of course, was a playoff team. Remember, the other playoff team from a year ago was Oklahoma. And I think Oklahoma is going to be a fascinating team because they get John Mateer back. That defense last year from Oklahoma was awesome. It was a top 10 defense in the country under Brent Venables, and that really paced them when the offense struggled after Mateer's hand injury, and he never really was the same after that. But coming off a playoff season this past year, the over-under for Oklahoma is 7.5. Basically saying that's a 7 or 8 win team in 2026. So, again, that's one that probably gets stung by the extra SEC game. And I'm here to tell you, 7-8 wins, that clearly is not getting you in the playoff. And for a guy like Brent Venables, who going into this past year very much felt like he was on the hot seat, you land 7-8 wins, you're a 4 or 5 loss team this year. That could be all for Brent Venables. Now, there's a couple of others that I thought was fascinating to see. The other playoff team, as we know, was Ole Miss. And a playoff team from 2 years ago that missed out this past year was Tennessee. So I was curious to see what Vegas is projecting for both of those teams. And both had different outcomes with their quarterbacks and their legal proceedings. Trinidad Chambliss, of course, won the extra year. Joey Aguilar did not. So Tennessee is preparing to move forward with a new quarterback, whereas Ole Miss, new head coach, new staff, all that sort of stuff. But they do have Trinidad Chambliss and Keyjuan Lacey back. This, I thought, might be the most interesting one on the board because I think this illustrates the impact of Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss, which last year, with Trinidad Chambliss, went 11-1 and made a run all the way to the college football playoff semifinals. And as I was told, I know that Ole Miss has lost a bunch from last year's team, but remember, they also had the number 2 portal class after LSU. How valuable is Lane Kiffin? FanDuel is projecting Ole Miss's win total over under 7.5. They're basically saying Ole Miss is going to be relegated to a 7-8 win team. They're going to be 7-5, 8-4. Even with Trinidad Chambliss back. That to me, and we'll see, look, they got to go play games and we'll see how it all plays out. But that to me is a great validation of something we talk about all the time here, which is the importance of coaching in college football. There is no sport in the world where coaching matters more in the game than football. Yes, in basketball, you're managing minutes and rotations. In baseball, a manager's got to determine when to make a pitching change, when to put on a bunt, whatever. But every single play in football is trench warfare. Every single play, there is dynamic strategy for 6-7 seconds. There's no sport where it matters more. And Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss are gone. And you can tell me all you want about bringing in a coordinator who had been part of the system before. Brother, we saw that with Jake Peets. We saw that movie. And just because you bring in someone who coached there before, knows the terminology in the offense, doesn't mean they know how to play call. We saw it with LSU last year with Joe Sloan. The last 2 years, replacing Mike Denbrock. It doesn't mean it's going to be seamless. And I think this is a great indicator in the contrast with LSU and Ole Miss. LSU 9.5, Ole Miss 7.5. I think that is a great hat tip to which program has Lane Kiffin and which program doesn't. You can say whatever you want about Pete Golding and winning the playoff games last year. The bottom line is it was Lane Kiffin's team, Lane Kiffin's roster, Lane Kiffin's staff, Lane Kiffin's everything. And Pete Golding stepped in to that thing and navigated the playoff nicely. I'll commend him for that. But we've all seen the popular assistant get promoted and it not work. In every sport, we've seen that. Texas A&M went through it in baseball last year with Michael Early after Jim Schlossnagle left. They missed the postseason. We saw it at Missouri when Gary Pinkel retired and they promoted Barry Odom. Barry Odom's turned out to be a good coach. He fell on his face at Missouri. And there's a million other examples that we could go through. And Pete Golding feels like the next in that line. He ain't Lane Kiffin, y'all. And this is a pretty good indicator of it. So I said Ole Miss and Tennessee were the two. So Ole Miss over under 7.5. Tennessee, which made the playoffs 2 years ago, of course, lost that game in Columbus, Ohio. Last year, missed the postseason. Now, no Joey Aguilar. They are also, Tennessee, over under 7.5 wins. So Ole Miss, Tennessee might be the two teams in the SEC with tremendous expectation. You maybe throw Oklahoma in that mix as well. With tremendous expectation that Vegas thinks that expectation is outsized as of this point anyway. Projecting a step back certainly for Vanderbilt, over under 6.5 wins, which still get them to bowl eligibility, which in the context of Vanderbilt history would be incredible. New coaches in the league, Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas, 4.5. Alex Golish at Auburn, 6.5. John Summerall at Florida, 6.5. Will Stein at Kentucky, 5.5. So a lot of small numbers there. Levy at Mississippi State, 4.5 down low. How about Drink at Missouri? Even with Austin Simmons there at quarterback, 6.5. Missouri might be the team that is the expanded schedule might be the greatest detriment to them more than any other. We've talked about Missouri plenty. That's a team that has fabricated winning records by playing an absolute garbage non-conference schedule, getting 4 Rena wins, going 500 in league play, winning a bowl game, and being a 10-win team, and thinking they actually accomplished something. For what it's worth, Missouri's non-conference game is on the road at Kansas in Lawrence. But you look up and down the rest of the schedule, at Ole Miss, at Georgia, they get Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M, Florida, all at home. Even with that schedule, 6.5 for Missouri is the number. But the story here, LSU, when it opened earlier today over at FanDuel, was 8.5. Got bet up a full game today during the day. Is currently sitting at 9.5. LSU tied with LSU tied with Texas and Georgia as the highest projected win total in the SEC for 2026. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, thinking of popping the question, one place to go, and you know where it is. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, 9 locations in all, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If it is that beautiful diamond engagement ring, maybe earrings, necklaces, bracelets, watches, pendants, so many beautiful options. No matter what you're looking for, who you're buying for. If you need that gift in the red box that will thrill her, that will be sure to make you a hero, get it from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. All right, y'all, glad to have you aboard with us here in this Friday edition of AFR. We are presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar there in Town Center. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We will go around the SEC. Terrio's here in 30 minutes from right now. The conference basketball tournament weekend continues. As some of these games go final, we'll certainly keep you up to date with how everything is transpiring. And Selection Sunday is on Sunday, and I think more than anything, people in these parts will be keeping a really keen eye on what happens with NC State. Are the Wolfpack in the tournament? We all assume they will be. What will be their seeding? What will be their draw? How much longer will they play? When that happens, then we'll get an answer on what the future holds for Will Wade, and will he be returning to LSU? We'll continue to follow that story here in the coming days. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC next.
After further review.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You can always go to getgordon.com. 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 Or call 888-8888. 888-8888. 888-8888. Or go to getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Listen, it doesn't matter where you are in the state of Louisiana. Gordon and his team would be happy to help, happy to serve. So call the 8s, 888-8888, 888-8888. Any market in Louisiana. If you've been injured, the last thing in the world you want to do is travel. So trust a local attorney in your market on Gordon's team that can help you get the settlement that you deserve. So go to the website. See testimonials, all the different types of cases that they handle. Get in touch. You can chat with an associate right there on the website. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon. Get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Are y'all going to the parade tomorrow? You going, Muse?
No, I have a busy day, man. Crawfish boil and then a wedding in New Orleans.
Loser.
I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Doesn't sound like fun at all.
What? A crawfish boil and then a wedding in New Orleans? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Crawfish bowls are a lot of work, and nobody actually wants to go to a wedding.
I'm not boiling the crawfish, although I do enjoy doing that.
Doesn't matter. You know, it's way more fun. The wearing of the green parade.
It's a good day, man.
Paul, are you going?
I'm not.
Whatever. Loser. What's your excuse? Got like a pregnant wife or something?
Yeah, very pregnant wife.
For those that don't know, Sam is I think she's due next week.
Yeah, next week.
That literally, she is very pregnant. I mean, she is due next week. So Paul has a very legitimate excuse not to go stand on a parade route with his 9-month pregnant wife and his toddler child. That does not sound like a good day.
I was about to say, you talk about something that doesn't sound like any fun.
That
does not sound like any fun, brother.
You've got no excuse.
I'm gonna have a blast on Saturday.
I hope you don't.
Wow.
At least this friend is considerate enough not to get married during football season like your other loser friend. Have they gotten divorced yet?
This isn't my friend. This is Camille's friend.
Good. See, she keeps good company. Her friends.
Clearly, she's dating me.
See, she's clearly elevating you. She is friends with people who get married in the spring. You're married with people with 2 first names who get married in the fall.
2 first names.
Losers. What was that guy's name again?
Adams, and it was the bye week.
Adams.
And it was the bye week.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It wasn't even on a Saturday.
I'm sorry. He's got 2 last names. Adams.
That's fair.
I'm sure they're divorced already, right?
No, they're happily married with a beautiful child, my goddaughter, as a matter of fact.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, congrats on everything, Adams. I'm sure it's wonderful. Adams.
Oh,
Get married
Lord.
during football season. You want a surefire way to know it ain't going to work? Get married during football season.
It's working great.
Yeah, sure it will. They always do. Wait till that 7-year itch, Muse. I know it's coming, Madams.
Madams?
Coming Adams.
Coming Adams. Got it.
Coming Adams.
Yeah.
Coming Adams. Madams. Coming Madams. Madams. I'm kidding, Adams. I hope it works great for you. I just really have a pet peeve with people who get married during football season. And you're just not a very good friend. You're just a very selfish person. That's the reality of it. All right, but we will be riding in the Wearing of the Green Parade, Parish Construction and Roofing. Me, Erica's riding. The Terrios, all of the Terrios will be riding.
Wow, okay.
All of them, all 5 of them. All 5 of them will be up there. So very much looking forward to it. May have some special guests on the Parish float as well.
Yeah. Can we have hints?
Nope.
Like, no hints at all?
Nope, you'll just have to see.
Oh, man. Well, I'm not going to be there.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe you'll catch it on the gram.
Okay, just tell me in the break. I won't spoil it.
I won't. We'll have a good time, though. And I bought a crap load of
That's
stuff.
what you said, man. What was it? $1,500 you said yesterday?
$1,500 yesterday on stuff. I
Same,
drove down to Kenner to go to one of those Mardi Gras stores. Shout out to the very nice Chinese ladies at Palooza Party in Kenner. Boy, they thought I was a VIP, or they called me a VIP. When they made me write down my name and an email address in a journal, so they could email me with other specials when they come along.
Okay. Well, heck yeah, man.
She said they go to China to buy the stuff, and they come in when they get new stuff. They're gonna let me know. I'm a
crazy.
VIP now.
Do you think
They gave me 10% off.
so? It could have been more expensive, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
They're like, since you spent more than $1,000, we'll give you 10% off. And she gave me a little stuffed gator.
That's solid.
I mean, as the parting gift for spending $1,500.
Well, a stuffed gator. Yeah.
How about a bag of them?
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's fair.
But they were lovely. They were lovely people.
It's easy to drop money, man, on that stuff.
Yeah.
So easy.
And your boy don't half step. So, I mean, I got like the big ball beads.
Absolutely.
I got the blinking lights, blinking like shamrocks. I got some like footballs, not like crappy little footballs, like good Nerf footballs that are like the ribbed white and green ones. They're going to,
oh, yeah.
They're going to go.
Those are solid.
I got some green beads that are like, they're footballs.
Okay. All right.
But they're like big, but they're
they're football shaped.
It's football, yeah.
Yeah. You got to have that kind of stuff for the overpass. I mean, when you hit the overpass on that ride, man, like that's
How would you know?
that I rode in the parade last year. It was great. It's a great ride. I'd love to ride in it again one day.
We should go to another crawfish bowl in somebody's wedding.
It's very rare that I miss the wearing of the green parade. Just saying.
You don't deserve to go. Go to your stupid crawfish bowl.
I'm going to pig out. It's going to be great.
You're the worst. Wedding. wedding in New Orleans. At least it's a spring wedding. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Muse, when you get a flat tire on the way to New Orleans, that's going to happen. That's just karma. That's just what happens in life. When you get a
Don't do that.
When you get a flat tire on the way to New Orleans, you going to make Camille change the tire?
No.
I bet you are. I bet you can't even change the tire.
Yes, I can.
I bet you can't. You know who can? Shaw Bills. Sell you a new one, too. So when you go into New Orleans tomorrow, Muse, and you hit a pothole, and you pop a tire, and you got to get a new tire, you're going to put the donut on for the rest of the weekend. When you get back, go to Shaw Bills. They'll take great care of you. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. What?
I'm going to be so mad at you if I get a flat tire.
Don't be mad at me.
No, you just put the jinx on me.
No.
You put the bad
You did this
juju
to
there.
yourself.
I did not.
You did this. That flat tire coming your way this weekend, Muse, you did that to you.
Oh, man.
You did that to you. Crawfish boil and weddings instead of the wearing of the green parade. How selfish are you?
How does that make me sense? It doesn't even make any sense.
It makes sense
No,
on this show
doesn't.
because this show is a radio tatership. It is not a radiocracy. And I said it's selfish means it's selfish. And from my chair where I wield supreme executive power, you are getting a flat tire this weekend.
Oh, man.
I'm actually just trying to will some business to Shaw Bills. That's what I'm doing here. That's all I want.
I mean, look, I can go to Shaw Bills for business. I just don't need to get a flat tire tomorrow.
It'd be so funny when you're back here on Monday. You're like, guess what? I was driving down Esplanade, hit a pothole.
Bro, if that happens, you're getting a picture, like, immediately. And I'm going to be like, look what you did.
No. I didn't do this. You did this with your own selfish actions. You and Madams. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Jackson Lloyd is Alabama's starting left tackle. Ryan Grubb confirmed that news to the media after spring practice on Thursday evening. Lloyd's a former five-star. Did play in 5 games as a true freshman last year. One of those was the playoff game at Oklahoma. So he maintains that year of eligibility. That makes sense. So that was a postseason game. So he played 4 regular seasons. So he's a redshirt freshman, although he played in 5 games. One of them was postseason. So Crimson Tide returned just 1 starting offensive lineman next year. I'm sure it's going to go great in Tuscaloosa next year with the Bows.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas opens spring practice Sunday. Biggest question, who is going to be the quarterback for year 1 under Ryan Silverfield? Redshirt sophomore KJ Jackson and redshirt sophomore transfer from Memphis AJ Hill are going to be competing for the job. Senior Division II transfer Braden Fuller is also there, maybe a little bit of a dark horse. Silverfield says he's not sure which player is going to take the initial steps or how they'll decide.
The Florida Gators.
Pete Thamel's reporting Florida is hiring Wofford co-defensive coordinator Jonathan Saxon as an assistant who will work with the defensive line and coach Gerald Chapman. Remember him? Saxon worked as co-DC and defensive line coach at Wofford for the past 3 seasons. Highly respected by his peers. Football Scoop named him a rising star. He was also one of ESPN's top 45 minority coaches under 45.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Linebacker Ty Ashley has committed to the Wildcats, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's an in-state prospect. Picked Kentucky over Michigan State, Wisconsin, Indiana, Missouri, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, and Louisville. They all previously offered. Ashley is unranked nationally. Stay hot, Will Stein. There you have it. That is Around the SEC. Friday show is brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Should I go to Don Juan after the show? I do have a gift card. I have a gift card still from Christmas. Should go to Don Juan, load up on a few stogies to bring on the float tomorrow for wearing to the green.
Yeah,
Or would that be rude to my fellow riders?
Depends on who you're riding next to.
Erica.
I don't know. I don't know how Erica feels about cigar smoke.
She doesn't like it.
I feel like she wouldn't like it a lot.
Doesn't like it at all.
So, yeah, that would be rude.
So I'll do it. Got it.
There you go.
Don Juan Cigar Bar. Okay, we'll wrap up hour number 1. Terrio, 15 minutes, AFR.
After further review.
GLO. Glow Resources. GlowResources.com. 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 Complete employer solutions. Looking to hire for that hard-to-fill position? Glow Resources can help, and they'll find you permanent solutions. And the best part about it, too, is they stand behind their work. They guarantee it. What I mean is, if, let's say, hypothetically, you work with Glow Resources, and they help you hire somebody, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work, that employee doesn't stick, they will give you a prorated refund, or they will help you find a new employee or replacement absolutely free. So you have nothing to lose and only productivity to gain. So check them out online. Start there. No matter if your business is in Baton Rouge or New Orleans or Miami or anywhere in the country of the world, Glow Resources can help. GLO. GlowResources.com. GlowResources.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Muse, what the hell is that? What are you playing?
It's an upbeat pop instrumental. It's got good energy to it.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
Do you think this has good energy?
Not really. No.
Yeah, same. Thank you. I think Muse is already in his brain. He's fixing that flat tire in New Orleans.
Dude.
That's where he is right
I'm going to be so mad.
I'm going to be so excited.
No, that would be so messed up.
I cannot wait to get that text. All right, it's after further review. We will talk baseball with Terrio in a bit. It was a good day yesterday. If you missed the show, we talked to both Kendall Rogers and Chris Lee, kind of previewing the weekend series with LSU traveling to Vanderbilt. Two teams where the name on the marquee looks really good. It's LSU Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, of course, over the last 2 decades has been one of the premier programs in college baseball. LSU over the last half century certainly can stake that claim. But both teams that have struggled here in the early going of this season, Vanderbilt's 11-7, LSU's 13-5. So if you think 13-5, how that looks and how that feels here, think about what it's like at Nashville. Chris Lee on the show a day ago kind of walked us through 5 significant injuries in the pitching staff at Vanderbilt. It's not necessarily to use that as an excuse, but certainly it can be an explanation for why things haven't gone really well there in Nashville. We've kind of talked a good bit about LSU and the pitching staff and what maybe to expect this weekend, because when you go Evans, Moore, Schmidt, that's going to give LSU a decided advantage to win most weekends they play. The real question is, what about the offense? And before they left for Nashville, Jay Johnson was asked about that. If he was, with the game on Tuesday with the win against Creighton, how they played in the final 5 innings, if maybe he thinks he's seeing signs of an offensive breakout from his team.
I just think consistency and approach is what I'm looking for. I will tell you the in-game response of the collective of the team last night was definitely a step forward. And there's still so much baseball, like we did not do well last night, but they stayed with it. I want them to see that because this is not played perfectly. Too good is not a thing, but we played so good in the first 8 games of the year, or really, games 3 to 8, 5-game stretch. We played as good as I think this team could play at that time. Maybe you lose a little bit of a sense of that, and it took us, in my opinion, too long to be able to get to the point that they did last night, but they did. And so I acknowledge that to them, and we're going to need more of that because that's the only way these games that we're about to play are going to be played.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see what Jay elects to do in this game. Look, you're going to be facing a righty in Fennell, so very likely he's going to load up the lineup with lefties. I think we're all anticipating that would be the approach. But it's going to be a thing where I know a day ago we talked a little bit about the new players experiencing the SEC for the first time. There can always be surprises, and maybe a guy like Dardar, I would suspect Dardar is going to start at second base as a lefty and a veteran guy. Maybe he has a big weekend, or maybe York has a big weekend, right? Some of these new guys. But Milam, Curiel, Brown, you really think your big 3 there have got to be the pace car. And Jake Brown's hitting 413 and Derek Curiel's at 329. Milam's the one I'm going to continue to highlight because he's sitting there at 250. But I'm going to continue to say this because I don't love the criticism of Stephen Milam, and I don't necessarily think that it's that I'm just sitting here trying to go to bat for a guy that you could say is underperformed. But Stephen Milam has 3 strikeouts on the season. 3. It's not like he isn't competitive at the plate. He's putting the ball in play. He just doesn't have a lot to show for it. Again, he's walked 13 times. Only Dardar and York have more. So Milam has had good at-bats, patient at-bats. He's putting the ball in play. He just doesn't have a lot to show for it. But you keep swinging, eventually you're going to break out. Hopefully that's this weekend for Monster. All right, Terrio's here next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. They do shutters too. Oh, and roller shades. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. I love this time of year when we get past the final cold snap, which I think we're maybe in right now, and we get to nothing but heat waves the rest of the way. Well, you know what's inevitable. So some beautiful days, but also some really hot days. And if you want to make your home more energy efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows could be a great option, okay? There's a really cool feature that they have they can show you when you go into the showroom or you talk to any of their associates. They'll take a standard glass pane window and one of their energy-efficient windows, and they'll put a lamp on top of it, and they'll have a thermostat underneath or thermometer. So you can see the temperature difference between a regular window pane and their energy-efficient window, so you know that's keeping your home cooler, making your home more energy efficient, saving you money. It's ReliefWindows.com.